The destruction of America. Thank you, President Biden, current administration, and the Federal Reserve. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, May the 8th, of course. And here we are, and what a wild week, which seemed like it was down a lot, but it really wasn't all that much damage. But there's a lot of action and a lot of indications of a lot worse. And, of course, we'll get to that in our market report. But as we look at what's going on around the globe and around the country, nothing is looking too good. And, you know, as an American and as a proud American, it's a sad state of affairs that we are watching the dismantling of our country by a group of idiots. Okay. From President Biden, who has Alzheimer's and doesn't know where he is half the time, to the squad, to the rest of them that could give a shit about America that we all know and love and where we grew up, okay, with freedom and the opportunity to be better and to make a better world for our children, our grandchildren, and continue to build, is being totally dismantled thanks to this current administration, as they sit on the sidelines and watch the world go by and the world try to take us out. Okay, now, again, you may think that I'm being a little bit over the top, but I don't think so. You know, we all seem to forget that just like markets, politics and wars and takeovers don't send a telegram or an announcement to tell you that it's happening. But if you're watching what is going on here, you can see the destruction of this country, the destruction of small business and the middle class. And so what are you looking at? Well, we can start with the war in Russia, Ukraine, a senseless war, but a war just the same, which is going to destruct our food supply next year. Okay, if it hasn't already done so, it's going to raise prices for bread, for anything that uses products like that. And of course, every product has something to do with the fossil fuel market because it has to be delivered. Okay, so or it is made with fossil fuels. So kid yourself if you think you are, but you can take this climate change and shove it, because it's not worth saving something that is not to be saved. Okay, and if you believe in climate change, well, you better believe in surviving first. Okay, under a normal democratic system versus a communist regime. And that is where we are headed today. Okay, if we continue at this current pace, that is where we are headed. Okay, now we talked about Russia, Ukraine, and what's going on there. And of course, the United States continues their rhetoric of Russia and that is in default. And if you take a look at the ruble, which is their currency, it is at highs that not seen in years, because remember, they own a couple of key commodities that must be used, especially by Germany and the UK, which is bringing them in capital, which is continuing to support that country. Okay, and they are forcing them to pay for it in rubles. So now we have the threatening of our fearless leader to put some sanctions on China. Well, you know, when we had law and order just 18 months ago, we didn't have any of this grief and aggravation that we are facing now. We were not at the mercy of Saudi Arabia, Russia, China, and begging the criminals of the world to give us oil. Okay, so what does that tell you? The first thing it tells us is that we should have been drilling our oil all along and maintained being a net exporter so that we kept control while we were working on the green energy. Okay, so now we have a major war in the financial markets. Okay, and there's always been power and attempts to take the dollar out as the reserve currency and bring in something else as a major currency. And this threat that the United States has made as possible sanctions on China for hanging with Russia is only going to backfire. Remember, if you're going to make a threat, when the bully makes a threat, you have to be able to back it up. Okay? And we cannot back it up. With the current idiocy that we are running under, cannot back up threats. It's like President Biden is sending strongly worded letters to the oil companies that they're charging too much, or to Saudi Arabia to pump more fuel. You cannot, if you're not prepared to take action, your sanctions, your threats are empty, and usually rile up the person or the country that you're threatening, because China can certainly take over and take the power, and you've already got major countries in this world, okay, in this on Earth, that are going and starting to side with others other than the United States of America, because we, at this current time, we are not still the strongest nation in the world. We have lots of competition, and we are almost, you could almost say at this point, we're easy prey for China. And again, it'll go back to, in my eyes, the Shanghai shutdown, which had nothing to do with COVID, to the alliance between Russia and Ukraine. And now there's a big, Australia's in play now, because that needs to be something that the United States needs to control should things get out of line. But of course, when you continue to watch the squad, okay, and the idiots that are right now in public office, they don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about anything but themselves and getting to globalization and screwing the American middle class. And they've got help from the upper uber wealthy in this country, because the upper uber wealthy, let's say these are not necessarily the names that are involved, but these are the companies that you would think that would benefit from a change, which would be into socialism or communism, and that would be Google, Facebook, Amazon. Okay, and why? Because if you make it hard enough for competitors to compete in your industry, you become the industry. And that is what is happening right before your very eyes. It's not an illusion. This is not David Copperfield doing a magic trick. This is happening for real right now as we sit here, because with the potential sanctions on China, China is going to stick it up our ass, and they are going to make a much bigger power play. They're going to accelerate their 100-year plan. Okay, as you continue to watch this, this is not a fun thing. The financial nuclear bombs that China has could be devastating to the United States because of the ignorance of the position we have put ourselves in, because of not only businesses, not only government, but for example, the NBA players, okay, that are more interested in the money, the actors in Hollywood that are more interested in the money, that continue to kowtow to the worst country to human rights in the world. Yet they continue to complain about the United States of America and what we do here, but support heartily the worst offender of human rights in the world. Okay, the worst offender of polluting your air. Okay, which is what we're trying to stop. Okay, China, and then India, which is now siding with China. Okay, and of course we now have, and they're going to burn coal and forever until they find something cheaper. So they don't care about the air or the economy. They care about what's cheap and what they're going to do. So you can sit back and watch this dismantling, or you can step up, okay, and do something about it. And part of that is voting, and forget about just what's going on in your own little circle, because, it's the old Martin E. Miller poem. Okay, first they came for the Christians, and then I did nothing because I wasn't a Christian. Then they came for somebody else, and by the time they came to me, there was nobody left to protect me. Well, right now we can still protect each other. Okay, and we need to step up efforts. Okay, which is voting is what we do in this country. We don't resort to violence first. Okay, but it's something that you better think about because you're watching. Not only the worst policies being introduced and the biggest threats being made to the people that we cannot back them up to the destruction in this country because we no longer are a net exporter of oil, because we've got interest rates that were too much manipulated by the Federal Reserve, the idiots the idiots and the clueless who run that Federal Reserve. Now, they may be brilliant people when they take a test, but they failed the worst test for us, which is how to run an economy and how the free market system works. Understand that asset classes will price themselves given the fair chance without the manipulation of the fiat currency system, which is as fraudulent as you can get. Okay, you have the governments taking advantage of what are supposed to be independent organizations. Okay, and they go right along with it because they want to stay in office too. It's almost like another political office. But you've now got a massacre in bonds, which means interest rates are going higher. And just 2 weeks ago, when I was bitching about paying a 30-year mortgage at 4.25%, they're now almost 5.5%. Okay, they're 5.25% the other day, and with the bond market cracking again, I'm going to say they're going to be at 5.5% next week. Okay, so you think about that from a percentage increase. These are unseen increases. Okay. And you've got the sorry geniuses, but the inflation go down does not stop commodity prices from going up. Okay, commodities are going higher. It's going to be higher to eat because you know what's going to happen. There is going to be a shortage of food. You think I am not the boy who cried wolf. Okay, I speak in facts. And when you destruct 30% of your wheat crop plus other things, when you have a fertilizer shortage, when you have Australia and Brazil having horrible production in their summer seasons and then through their harvesting, and now we are in planting season here, and we are having a horrible weather spring. Now we still have time to get out, okay, and produce. However, we are still going to be short, and there's going to be, in this country, we're just going to have to pay a lot more. Okay. But in other countries, there's going to be food riots. There's going to be people that are going to starve, okay, because of what's going on that could have been cured by the proper actions by this administration. Okay. So again, you can continue to hide your head in a corner and put your head in the sand and be like an ostrich, or you can do something about it and again first become aware of what's going on. I mean, look at where the $5.7 trillion of stimulus money went. Where did it go? It went into a black hole. Who pays for that $5.7 trillion? Oh, you and me pay for that. Okay. And I mean, you have Bill Gates, who's another piece of crap. Okay. Who is trying to accumulate the farmland. And he's trying to put where in the medical field, they put an identifier in you so they can track you. Okay. But now he's bitching about Elon Musk and Twitter. Now, look, we need some outlet to have free speech. Enough of this control of the media. Okay. There needs to be an opportunity. And I believe that Elon Musk is going to give us that opportunity. Okay. And I mean, you've got a delusional Neil Kashkari, who is the president of the Minneapolis Fed, who doesn't believe that the stopping of the printing of money and the QE, it's like, they don't understand that you cannot A, borrow your way out of debt, and B, print money into oblivion, because somebody's got to pay for that. If you're in business yourself, you understand that you have inventory to sell. You have to pay for that inventory, and you try to make a markup. You cannot just magically make inventory appear. But apparently, Neil Kashkari has lost his friggin' mind, okay, and thinks that we can just continue at this rate of destruction, making the dollar, as the dollar explodes to levels it has not seen in years and years and years, okay, you see that it buys less and less and less. So think about it. You are being stripped of everything that you own and want to do. As the longer this goes on, the longer the bullshit moves and they continue to destroy the middle class and small business, the more you and me are at risk of the total destruction of America. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horowitz. And it's always great to be here with you. And I wish I had better news. But again, what we're watching here is scary as all get out. And I think we just have to, be prepared for it. And again, the way we have to prepare is we vote. Okay. In the meantime, remember our sponsors, please. Again, they help us put the show together and make sure we get it out to you all the time. But certainly check them out. Capital Trading Group. Look, first of all, I have many brokers. Okay, I've got all the big ones. I could name all of them. I'm not going to name, but they are. They're all the names that you've heard before. But the CTG Capital Trading Group for futures and commodities, there is none better. Okay, why is there none better? Because they've got phenomenal customer service. And if you're ever traded and you ever had a problem and you need to talk to somebody, you can talk to somebody at CTG. They'll pick up the phone. Okay, they do they're the only ones I can approve for letter of direction trading. They've got some brand new products. Okay, and they manage all my accounts. They do all of our members' accounts that want to have letter of direction trading. And they've got some great products, but one of the greatest new products, we did a webinar yesterday, which you're welcome to have the recording if you didn't hear it, okay, on our Day Trader's Dream webinar, okay, which is day trading without overnight risk and automation by CTG so that all the signals get filled. But check them out, info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. That's info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. And of course, trade your brokerage. They are that's like getting a raise. That's like getting free money. Trade your brokerage. Okay, they do equities and options, and they're going to soon be doing cryptocurrencies, which will be able to be used in both accounts, so you can have cryptos and use them as part of your trading account. But Tradier is $10 a month flat. Now think about that. How much did you pay in commission last year? I paid $120. If I was with one of the other guys, I'd have paid $120,000. Okay, so you think about that for a minute. Okay, in the meantime, okay, we have the ability for all of our equity portfolio members to auto trade at no charge. We don't charge; they don't charge. Okay, and it's all based on the formulas we use. And in our hedging, there's a fee for a licensing fee from us, so that you can be used but have access. But there's no more charge. There's no extra commission. It's the same commission to have yourself automated. Okay, check them out. They're great. Try.trader.com/Bubba. That's try.trader.com/Bubba. And again, don't forget about our high school program at Patreon. Okay, we're revamping it once again as the schools are now back, and we've gone through all this COVID and all this other crap, and of course, it's something that we sponsor. The schools don't pay for it. We volunteer it to the schools as a way of helping to educate our youth. But it's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and me, Todd Bubba Horowitz, and we'll go through our market report. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, May the 8th. And, again, sorry for the depressing message, but I want to be factual when I talk about things and the way that I think about it. And of course, as we get in the markets, this is what we've talked about for months of what was going to happen. And I think we are now in the process of what is going to happen. Okay, now, last week, it felt like it was down a ton. It really wasn't. It was really pretty much flattish. It was down, but not much, except the NASDAQ and the Russell both broke down to the downside. Okay. Now, when I say break down, they violated technical levels. So, but in the meantime, Dow and S&P are near or just basically hovering around support. We're short all 4 indexes. Okay. The big rally on Wednesday from the Federal Reserve doing what they were supposed to do was quickly met later because the overreaction, was destructed. And of course, you saw down over 1,000 on Thursday and a major swing on Friday. Back and forth, but at the end lower on the day. So it looks like we're headed south for the winter, and it looks like it's going to be an ugly one. And that's what I expect it to be, an ugly one. The jobs numbers are just another bullshit number that they put out there. It's done totally incorrectly because it uses what they call the U3, 3 months instead of 6 months. So we don't know who dropped off the payroll. So it's an artificial number either way. And it is what it is. Okay, that's what they use. But that's why you saw the reaction that you saw to what was based on expectations, a big beat on the number. But of course, it's not truly a beat. It's more of a facade. But as we look at the rest of the trading world, the dollar remains strong. I think it was a 20 or 25 year highs now. Okay. As we continue to run up, which means the euro currency is getting crippled, which we're long dollars, short euros. Okay. And I think that's going to continue, unfortunately. But again, this is the fraudulent systems at work. Natural gas exploded. Now, I cannot remember when natural gas was over $8 in May. Okay. In non-peak demand season. But this is our energy policy. Thank you, President Biden and the rest of you idiots. Okay. Crude oil, boom, exploding, breaking out again. So now we look like we're on target to run back to that 130 and then probably on to new highs. We're still long. We're long in natural gas as well. Copper under pressure. We're still short. And again, I expect copper to find a bottom at some point, but we will stay short until that bottom comes. And it should be somewhere around 4 or under 4. Gold and silver, they continue to go down. Okay. They had some real promise rallies during the week, but once again, for the 3rd week in a row, they were both lower. And I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. Now, remember, I am short. We are short gold. We are short silver. I am a supporter and a buyer of gold and silver physically, but on paper, I'm short, and I will always own physical. Okay. And of course, the bonds and notes got crushed once again, which 10 years are about 3.1 now. Suddenly, remember when they were just 0.25, now they're 3.1, and mortgage rates are skyrocketing. We told you, and we'll continue to stay short those because there appears to be no bottom in the bonds right now. So expect them taking it. Now there'll be there'll be sharp rallies that are to be sold. We are selling rallies in these products until something changes that says we should be a buyer. Okay. Bitcoin, it's hovering around that 36,000. We're still short. Look, I'm a big fan of it, but right now it's still in a pretty solid downtrend. So there's nothing I'm going to do about that. Okay. And as we look at the grain markets, we are short soybeans now, although I'd wish we were still long them. But all 3 major grains, corn, wheat, and beans, are kind of in a sideways pattern. Just slightly variations, but for certainly gold, crude, coffee. So I'll get it right eventually. Corn and wheat, okay, are in a very bullish pattern still. Beans, just a tiny bit negative, but I think they're all going a lot higher. And I think $10 corn, $15 wheat, $20 beans. And of course, in the protein complex, feeder cattle, which were long, it doesn't look great. Okay, but we're still long that. We're short fat cattle, which got hammered last week, and we're short hogs, which also got hammered last week. And there's going to be a decision on budgets for which protein you want to get, right? And there's a big problem in poultry because of the bird flu. So, but in the meantime, that's our position there. And of course, if we look at the softs, you've got cotton, which was lower last week a little bit, but look at where it's at. Remember, look at where it's at. And any market that moves too fast in one direction is going to do something else and probably revert. We're going to talk about that in our commentary today. So I'll give you some of that there. But in the meantime, looks great. Coffee is getting crushed. We're short. Looks great. Okay, we're long cotton, by the way. Sugar's going lower. We've been short. Cocoa's going lower. We're short. And OJ was kind of flat, but working its way higher, and we're long. So again, position-wise, we're in pretty good shape. Had a great week. And again, I have to just say to you that it's time to be a little more careful, which I will cover in my commentary today. In the meantime, let's just step out of here for a break. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horowitz. This will be our final break. We'll come back with, of course, our commentary right after the break. Bubba's Bottom Line. Well, kids, look, we did a great webinar yesterday with our friends at Ninjacators. And, of course, it was on our Day Trader's Dream model. Listen, look, I tell you, it works well. We got some good returns, and they're audited returns. It's something that if you want to check out and hear the recording, please feel free to email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. And don't forget my sponsors up and down the sides and the bottom. It's a Capital Trading Group, CTG. That's Trade Your Brokerage, who's going to soon have cryptocurrencies. And, of course, our high school program at Patreon. Check them out. And let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horowitz, for our commentary. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horowitz. It is Sunday, May the 8th. And, normally I use this to make one more bitch. But today, I trade live every day with my members. Okay, we trade for an hour a day. This week we traded, usually at 9:30 Eastern for the open, but we traded the Fed this week. We traded the jobs number on Friday. And what I told them and what I want to tell you is, when you're trading is great, okay? But it's also a very challenging business, okay? Listen, nobody is on the street corner passing you $100 bills. There ain't no free lunch. It's work. All that bullshit advertising you watch, it promises you gazillions, are lies, okay? It's hard work. Okay, and there's drawdowns. But what you have to remember, okay, is that just because you're watching, if you're watching, that doesn't mean you have to make a trade. And more often than not, you should probably walk away when it's really dead if you're trying to be an active trader, okay? Because sometimes you make yourself see a mirage that doesn't exist. You see something in a market that is not part of that market, okay? But you're so desperate to want to make a trade. But you don't get paid by the trade. You get paid by making good trades, okay? And when there are bad trades, you make money by cutting down the drawdowns and the bad trades by having a stop in place of a trade that gives you the highest probability. So if you always remember, you do not get paid to make that trade, okay? The broker gets paid. What you get is a loss. And you get a loss plus commissions. So remember, it's a very challenging business that you have to be patient enough to sit by and wait for your opportunities, because it's capital preservation and risk management. And when you finally realize that, you will understand that all that little game playing, those little shots you took here and there, that you lost a little bit, that those losses add up to be too much money. Okay. And again, we're going to have losses, but let's not create our own losses thinking that we're not doing piecework by the trade. We are trying to grow our account, okay, which means that the ultimate discipline and risk management needs to be part of your trading, whether you're trading day trades, swing trades. It's all about discipline, and it's all about having a trading plan together. And of course, we had a devastating week for people involved in stocks and portfolios, a little bit of panic. The VIX is flying. That's why we hedge. See, that's why my members hedge their portfolios, because we were actually enjoying the selling, because we were actually buying more stock, because we're playing the same statistics, right? We're playing a model. We play by the math, not by the opinion. So anyways, everybody have a great weekend. Lots going on if you're a fan. There's NBA, NHL, baseball. Of course, the weather's kind of sucky. We had a lot of rainouts, but you've got a lot of things going on. Golf, all kinds of things to do. We're coming into the summer. Be prepared, be ready, enjoy yourself. Thank you as always for being here. And remember, we got to build back a better America, because we're being destroyed by what's currently in place. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much. Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horowitz. We'll see you on tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update. Adios, everybody.